modern world is dominated by Anglo-American West, whose language is English. Therefore, schooling of any country must ensure that a sizable portion of their population are able to express thoughts in English. Out of this consideration, between 60 to 80% population of all developed countries, including China and Russia, are schooled to express thoughts in English. One can seriously think of inclusive growth in India, where that number is only 5 to 10%. This implies India is seriously deficient in one of the important criteria of inclusive growth and prosperity in the modern world: knowledge of English. If, on the other hand, 90% of Indians are made Anglophonic, the nation will most definitely not become prosperous. It must be made clear that knowledge of English must not be at the expense of one's own language, history, culture, tradition, and heritage, which is by design taking place in all former Anglo-French colonies, including India. It is to be emphasized that a subject matter has to be effectively absorbed first. Most effective absorption is best achieved in mother tongue. What is absorbed can be easily expressed in multiple other languages. Those are the language of expression. This is the system of education used in each and every so-called developed country. In this context, a quote from Rabindranath Tagore, who wrote in one of his essays on education. On the other hand, if a foreign language is enforced as language of absorption and mother tongue used for expression, then the student learn neither. This is what schooling of third world countries breed: certificate and degree holders who are not employable.
Last year, a partner at KPMG India published a piece in the New York Times about the poor quality of graduates entering the workforce in India. And now a national survey finds that almost 50% of India's graduates are unemployable.
It's the season for staggeringly high cutoffs on campus, but one that don't necessarily make the cut in the corporate world. A new survey of graduate students across the country says that more than half of them are not fit to be hired.
50% Indian graduates are not employable.
IIT 2016 में IIT की प्रवेश परीक्षा में ही 12 लाख बच्चों ने हिस्सा लिया। मगर सवाल है कि भारत में जिस परीक्षा के लिए छात्र अपनी जिंदगी का अहम हिस्सा हवन कर देते हैं, वो जब इंजीनियर बनकर निकलते हैं तो किस लायक होते हैं? क्या वो इंजीनियर बन पाते हैं? प्रतिभा की पहचान और शोध से जुड़ी एक कंपनी एस्पायरिंग माइंड की ताजा रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक 8% से भी कम भारतीय इंजीनियर इंजीनियरिंग की ठोस भूमिकाओं यानी कोर एरियाज में नियुक्त किए जाने के लायक हैं। यानी 92% इंजीनियर कोर एरिया के लायक नहीं है। कोर एरिया का मतलब हुआ मैकेनिकल, सिविल, इलेक्ट्रिकल और केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग। 2011 में नैस्कॉम ने एक सर्वे में पाया कि सिर्फ 17.5% इंजीनियरिंग ग्रेजुएट ही नौकरी के लायक है। नेशनल एसोसिएशन ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर एंड सर्विसेज कंपनी का छोटा नाम है नैस्कॉम।
92% graduate engineers are not employable. This is a scandalous state of schooling, which is a criminal waste of human resource under the pretext of education. The decision makers and the administration of these schools is likely to turn around and squarely blame the victims, the failing students. But no one will ever dare to raise the issue of language of instruction as one of the major factors might be responsible for this disaster. No one will even dare raise this issue in a public forum. Even if a public figure raises this type of issue in a public forum, the mainstream media will fiercely attack both the public figure and the forum and try to sanitize public opinion through massive propaganda. This was observed when the left government of West Bengal attempted to activate a recommendation of an education commission that remained gagged for a long time. Accordingly, they introduced mother tongue-based education until primary schooling. No sooner that was implemented, the mainstream media worked overtime to mobilize public opinion against this move and forced the government to nullify that program. Now government is introducing English medium education Right from start, vernacular medium schools are closing down. What else could be more relevant than what Rabindranath commented on the same issue about 100 years ago? Let us listen to his narrative. Speaking incorrect English is a laughable matter to our countrymen. Nothing could be more contemptible than this. A stain of slavery is reflected in that laugh. As long as we maintain such a culture, our Anglophonic crowd will have to learn not just enough English, but excess English. Time required for lessons in excess English will have to be deducted from the time to be devoted for real learning. Such attitude never attains the maturity to believe that deep knowledge of mother tongue may help to get deep knowledge of English. Only English, and stripped of knowledge in mother tongue, how can echo claim the same status as the sound? Weeds hanging from the branches of a great banyan tree are by no means equal. Ministry of Education will render great service to the nation if they teach the Anglophonic populace that their Anglophonic knowledge and wisdom in relation to the original English world is like the sound and the echo. They are no more than weeds hanging from the banyan tree, the English world. An original creation of English culture. Rabindranath, the first Asian Nobel laureate in literature in 1913, and founder of the University of Shantiniketan, one of the towering figures of Bengal, though fading from his place of origin, yet even now his feeble influence is felt in various social circles in the middle class of Bengali community. Bengalis console themselves thinking he is a Bishwakobi. In reality, he is far less known in Bengal and even lesser in India, let alone the world. His insightful and thought-provoking series of essays under the heading Shikha is far more relevant today than it was in pre-independent India. But his viewpoints on education are never ever discussed in media or academic circle or in political circles. It is very possible that this is one of the very few presentations of this subject in whole of internet. Question is, why? Before looking for an answer, let's listen to one of the speeches of Education Minister of Delhi government, Munish Sisodia.
कि अगर किसी को गुड मॉर्निंग बोलो तो जल्दी जवाब मिल जाता है, गुड इवनिंग बोलो, नमस्कार बोलो तो जवाब भी आसानी से नहीं मिलता है। खैर, आज इस सभागार में उपस्थित सभी हिंदी प्रेमियों को, हिंदी के सेवकों को सबसे पहले हिंदी दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। आप सबको हिंदी की जीवन शैली, हिंदी के ज़रिए आपको मिल रहा आत्मसम्मान, हिंदी के ज़रिए आपको मिल रहा आत्मविश्वास, आपका सबका बढ़े, उत्तरोत्तर बढ़े, ऐसी मेरी शुभकामनाएं हैं। मैं मंच पर आसीन आदरणीय मैनेजर पांडे जी और मैत्री पुष्पा जी को और हमारे साथी जीतराम भट्ट जी अकेडमी में, वरना हिंदी को हिंदी पखवाड़े की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, हिंदुस्तान में हिंदी को हिंदी दिवस की ज़रूरत पड़ती है। अंग्रेजी दिवस तो नहीं मनाते हम कभी। वही मेरी विशेषता और योग्यता है। ना मेरी हिंदी में लिखने में विशेषता है, ना मेरी हिंदी के बारे में कोई आलोचना करने की विशेषता है। तो इसलिए मेरी किसी भी बात को अगर कहीं किसी को पीड़ा पहुंचे कि ये तो इसने क्या कहा, इससे तो हिंदी का सम्मान हो गया, इससे तो फलां भाषा का अपमान हो गया, तो इसी मेरी पूर्व सूचना के आधार पर उसको खारिज कर दीजिएगा कि इससे क्या बुरा मानना है। जैसे बच्चा कोई आपके सामने आके 2 और 2 5 कहे, मेरे जैसा बड़ा आदमी, उम्र दराज आदमी आपके सामने कहे 2 और 2 5 होते हैं तो आपको कहेंगे इतने बड़े हो गए तुमको समझ नहीं आता। पर बच्चा आपके सामने कहे 2 और 2 5 होते हैं तो आप हंस के टाल देते हैं, बच्चा धीरे धीरे समझ जाएगा। तो उसी तरह से टाल दीजिएगा, मैं हिंदी के मामले में बच्चा ही हूँ।
Minister seems to be distinctly hesitant to comment on the importance of learning Hindi at school. He is apologizing in advance in case his statements are interpreted as support for Hindi and insult to other languages. It is tempting to ask, who is he afraid of? whether or not mother tongue should be used as a medium of instruction, is this an important question in formulating education policy of any given nation? In all formal colonial countries, with special reference to India, condition has been created whereby English has become not only the official language, but the language of livelihood. All official communication in all government and private enterprise, use of English without any regard for those who can't express thoughts in English. Without English, common people do not have access to court, government offices, job opportunities, higher education, etc. In short, without English, pathway to decent living is simply shut. The state and corporate machinery is mobilized to project English as a symbol of prosperity, success, aristocracy, and civility. A well-designed overt and covert propaganda machinery operates 24/7 to transmit subliminal suggestions to general public to make them accept English over the indigenous language as a reflex. In total disregard of all recommendations of great personalities and evidences of crippling effects of imposing a foreign language over mother tongue in education, status quo in education is being maintained with impunity. Why? Because that helps Anglo-American West to keep stranglehold over an area of 3 million square kilometers and its 1.3 billion population, of which 90% are marginalized.